morning, Wareham. It is finally Friday, and it is Friday, May 10th. We have a great show here for you, the news headlines, the weather report, and of course, today in history. Today we're welcoming back our weekly news correspondent, Nadia Karitnokova, to digest this week's news and events. We also have Sally Morrison in the studio to discuss the Wareham Dog Park efforts. And last but not least, your favorite selectman is in the building. We're talking about no other but Alan Slavin to discuss Route 6 and Route 28 renovations. But before we get to all that, I would like to take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Cranberry Highway in East Wareham, for donating the props that you see in the morning show. So stay with me because the news and the weather is next. Showers for the afternoon, high today at 58 degrees. Showers in the evening, then cloudy overnight. Thunder is a possibility tonight, low at 54 degrees. Tomorrow, a mix of sunshine and clouds, high at 66 and low at 46. Sunday, cloudy with occasional rain showers, high around 53 degrees. At night, we'll see an overcast with the showers at times, low at 44 degrees. And now to the news. There were a few news stories over the week, and here are the news headlines. Well, Wareham newspaper, Wareham Week had the following headline. The Board of Selectmen deemed 2 dogs who attacked a Wareham resident to be dangerous on Tuesday night. On Wednesday, April 10th, at approximately 8 a.m., 2 German Shepherds owned by Robert Brady attacked Marina Chaubina, inflicting injuries to both of her hands. Chobina reported that while walking on Tehana Road in the area of Herring Run, both dogs attacked unprovoked. While the dog owners said he cannot deny the dogs ran out, he said, however, the road that Miss Chobina was walking on was a private one. However, Gary Buckminster, our harbour master, noted that there wasn't a no trespassing sign. The selectmen ruled that the dogs were dangerous and imposed the restrictions, including that the dogs must be tattooed or implanted with a microchip to identify them. And Brady, the owner, must provide proof that the dogs are insured in the amount of at least $100,000. The dogs also cannot be left alone outside the property, and the handling area and Upper Cape canines must be completely fenced. And we got to move on to Wicked Local newspaper, who had the following story. The Wareham New Bedford Elks Lodge 73 held its annual Student of the Month celebration on Wednesday night in an annual tradition celebration to, recognizing top students in the community. Among those who were there was our own state representative, Susan Gifford, to celebrate the students. Students from Wareham, Upper Cape Regional, Old Rochester, Old Colony Regional, and Bourne came to be recognized Wednesday night for their achievements so far. And now we're gonna go on to another news. The Wareham High School DECA team gets ready for their second largest fundraiser. And I met with a few of those students yesterday. I met with Joshua Flaherty, Brian Gallagher, and Emma Fitzgerald to discuss this fundraiser. Take a look.
So the auction is a fundraiser that we do every year. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. and it helps students pay for competitions throughout the year. Usually it's a spaghetti dinner, but this year we're changing it up. It's catered by Minkle Boys Catering. We're doing chicken, potatoes, and vegetables.
You should come to the auction because it benefits the students mostly, as any money raised goes directly to the students, as half of it goes to the students and the other half is used to subsidize the actual cost of the auction along with the cost of competitions and other things. So this helps students who may not be able to go to competition be able to afford their competitions.
So some of the big donations that we got this year, we have lift tickets to Wachusett Mountain. We have several tickets to preseason games of professional teams, and we also have certain photography sessions. So another one of our larger donations, Plymouth Country Club donated a round of golf for 4 people, comes with a golf cart, and it is around $500 value. And another one of our larger donations is a fishing trip that's worth around $750 value.
One of the most popular segments of our auction are the rollies. They're 10 for $1, and as you see, you unwrap them, and on some of them there's a number inside, and this corresponds with an item that is usually on a table in the hallway. And these items usually range from $10 to $25. And this year we're offering a new variety of items. And if you're a business that's looking to donate, no donation is too big or too small.
May 19th at the Wareham High School cafeteria. And this morning, the Wareham Police Department was busy planting flags, 165 thin blue line flags up in front of the station. 163 flags represent officers who died in the line of duty in 2018, and 2 will be placed for the officers from Wareham who have been killed in the line of duty, one in 1999 and the other in 1932. The flags will remain there for the rest of the week. So you can go there and take a look. Actually, when you just drive past the police station, you can see them outside. Okay, we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to have Nadia with us. Welcome back. So we have our weekly news correspondent from Wareham Weekly newspaper, Nadia Karitnikova, or I would like to call her my favorite Russian. All right, welcome, Nadia.
Hi, Queen.
Hi, you were busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why were you busy? You're like...
Oh, no, I'm good. It's just my editor was out of office this week, and I had to be responsible for the layout.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, she helped me, but it was kind of stressful to do it alone for the first time.
Did that come with extra pay?
No.
No. You need to negotiate your pay, lady.
It's like as if I need to be able to learn how to do this, because in case my editor gets sick, I need to be on the roll, right, on the moment.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, at least so you took it as a learning curve.
Yes.
All right, but it wasn't so pretty, was it?
No.
All right, so now she's back.
Yes.
So next week is going to be a regular week for
Yes,
you.
yes.
All right.
God.
Very good. All right, Nadia. So we have a lot to talk about. Okay, first I would like us to talk about the 2 dogs that attacked the lady.
Okay.
You were there, right?
Yes.
During the hearing?
Yes.
So tell me what you observed from the owner.
So the owner, Robert, he breeds German Shepherd dogs at his Upper Canine property. And I was kind of surprised to learn that even though he breeds German Shepherds, he doesn't have a fence around the property. And he lets the two dogs out every single morning. It's regular routine for them because they're the most obedient dogs, the way he said it. So they run out early in the morning. They come back from breakfast afterwards, and the dogs usually run around in camel. But these two dogs, because they're the most obedient ones, they can run outside of the property. But then they come back like 30 minutes later.
Okay.
So I was surprised to learn that the property doesn't have a fence, and I thought it was just a disaster waiting to happen.
So he said that where let me get the lady's name here. 1 second. Where Ms. Marina Chobina.
Yes.
Marina Chobina was walking. That was a private property that she was trespassing. Did you take a look at the compound? Is he the only house in that on that road?
Okay, I haven't taken a look in yet, but it wasn't my plan. So she was basically passing the cranberry box, and it's just one of these dirt roads that you walk on while passing the cranberry box. And it didn't have any signs of no trespassing, but yet Robert said that it was a private property. But director of natural resources said there were no signs saying that.
No trespassing.
No trespassing signs, so it was a fair game.
Did you speak to Marina at all?
Yes.
Shabina, what
yes.
did she say? I mean, what was she doing there? Not to blame the victim, but
she wanted to see the herrings run
okay.
in the morning.
All
yes.
Right. So once again, the people can.
Yes.
They can
yes.
use the road.
I believe it's there's a hiking trail, so. It's not a private. It is Upper Canine is private property, but the dirt road that goes near it is not a private property.
Okay.
So there is even a biking trail that people can walk on. So not a biking trail, but just a regular trail, and it's not a private property. Yes. So people regularly hike there.
What was she looking to get? What was justice? How did she view justice? Was the selectman ruling enough? Or
yes.
did she ask for something specific?
No, she didn't. She wasn't really trying to. Her goal wasn't to deem the dogs dangerous. Her goal was to protect other citizens of Wareham, because she recalled the incident when her mother was biking, and she on the same spot she met these two dogs, but they didn't attack her. They just scared her away, and she never biked again on this trail.
Okay.
So she just wanted to, because this is an occurring instance. Gary Beckminster, the director of natural resources, said there were several reports saying that people saw the dogs in this area.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we're gonna move on. What you got for me? You had a few events. You had the
yes.
Walk for Hunger.
Yes.
That was your first one. The first of Walk for Hunger event in Wareham.
But I do want to mention that tomorrow there is going to be Stamp Out Hunger. It's not an event. It's just it's going to be happening. So Stamp Out Hunger.
Stamp Out Hunger.
So put a stamp on the food in order to get rid of the hunger.
Ah,
yes.
okay.
So
and how does it run?
So the residents of Wareham should, if they have some non-perishable products or canned products, they should put it out in their mailboxes or on top of them. So when mailman comes and delivers the mail, he will pick up this food and then deliver it to the food pantry.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Now, is this the first time they're doing this?
No, it's an annual event.
Okay.
I don't know for how many years it's been going on, but it's nationwide.
All right.
So it's not only in Wareham. It's going to be happening all across the United States tomorrow.
Very good.
So if you have some canned food or anything, you should put it outside of your house.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What else on this week's news? What stories did you cover?
Well, my editor covered Walk for Hunger, which is also an annual event. This is the 10th year. I'm yet to find out how much money was raised, but I know that last year $10,000 were raised, and while the first year people were only able to raise $1,200. So I believe it was a success.
Okay, very good, very good, very good. And also tomorrow there is an event that was posted on your website, on the Wareham Week website, the Herring Run. Is it the Herring Run? The Acushnet? What is it?
Yes. So it's going to be in New Bedford.
Okay.
Not in Wareham. To be honest, I need to find out what they're going to do yet, because I just posted this morning.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, what does your week look like? Any interesting stories after you're done with today?
Well, there is going to be a show at Wareham High School, which I'm personally going to attend. I already bought myself a ticket. I'm going there as a guest, not as a journalist, because I just want to relax and watch the show.
Lovely.
Yes. So I really advise people to come, because the rehearsal looked awesome.
Okay.
Especially because there's going to be a brunch on Sunday. Yes.
All right. Very good.
Yes.
So that is something personal for you. You're going to attend the show. What's the show? What's the play?
So the play is called The Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay.
It's a musical, and it's also featured in Broadway as well. So it's a famous one. I just never heard about this before. It's kind of like a fantasy, comedy, horror musical. So it's a combination of all three.
Okay.
It's great.
All right, very good. So I can see you smiling.
Yes.
And for once in your life, you're going to attend an event because you want to, not because you
Yes.
have to. All right, very, 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 very good. Well, I'm glad that you are with us this morning, and I hope you enjoy your play. And I hope next week is going to be a little bit smoother for you.
Hope so.
Hope so. All right. So that was Nadia Karitnakova, aka my favorite Russian, or your favorite Russian, here in the studio to digest the week's news and the events. She had a hell of a week, but it's over now because it is Friday. So stay with us. We'll be right back. The show has to continue. Our next guest will be talking about a dog park. So for all those dog lovers out there, listen up, okay? We have a dog park in this town. I know, I did not know, okay? And instead of pointing a finger at me that why didn't you know we had a dog park, did you know that we had a dog park? The answer is no. So here to tell us more about that dog park is the woman spearheading the efforts. Welcome, Sally.
Hi.
Hi. So actually, people know you. You told me it's funny, but it's funny because it's not true. People came to you and say, we thought you were dead.
Well, not people were wondering if I was very ill, off the pin, or some people thought I moved to Texas.
You moved to Texas. So Texas or dead?
Yeah.
And it was none, neither. You're here in Wareham and alive.
I think so.
Oh, you're fantastic. Okay, so tell us about this dog park.
I am the dog Segway person,
You
apparently.
are the dog Segway person. So we have the park.
We have the physical site, yes.
May we see that physical site? I believe we have some pictures there. And I know they can be, it's hard to see. Oh, okay, they are loading the pictures. Let's continue to talk. So tell us.
Not a problem for me.
What do you mean we have the Segway? What do you mean?
Site.
Yeah. What do we mean? You have the site, but not the park.
Well, it is the park. It's a physical site for the park. So
Yeah.
there's the Wareham Dog Park is the town, a town meeting approved for almost 7 acres. And the site is on Maple Springs Road, directly across from the on-ramp
Okay.
to go on 25.
Yes.
The problem is that there's like a little street there to go into Makepeace property. There's a bog behind it, but it's not a real road. So there's no, you can't put it in your GPS to get there. There are physical coordinates,
Yes.
but we can't say
At this address.
at this address. That's one of the things that we will have to work on.
To get the actual address for people.
To get the actual address, and also that can impede us for some grants because they're going to do their research as they should, and to make sure that what we're saying actually exists. We can give longitude and latitude, but most people aren't really
Who
interested.
uses longitude and latitude?
Oh, lots of people.
Lots of people, really. Okay. So tell me, to me, it sounds as if we're taking, these steps are coming in a backwards order. You know, like now you're working to get the actual address on the GPS. Shouldn't have that come first?
No, because what we were given that, well, the park has gone through to get to this point several years. So there were several parcels of land that were brought up for discussion, and for various reasons, those parcels of land were rejected. This parcel of land that belongs to the town, and there's no reason for address because there's nothing there. So behind is all, it's just a small piece that's kind of off the off-ramp, kind of unbuildable. So there wasn't really a reason to name it. And for Makepeace, it's just another way for them to access their equipment can go down that short road to get to the bog. But nobody would ever go there before. So now we've given a reason
To go there.
to go there. So it's not backwards. It had to be said, this is okay for the dog park. And now we have a reason to put in, because that'll be another town process. And also to get approval that that street would need to have a name and we would need to have an address. So, and that's anything that's like a community thing, you have to go through a lot of different boards.
And before we get to those, a lot of different boards and steps, right? You have had your fair share of frustration.
Not me, I'm new to the game.
You're new to the game, okay. Is this park, is it a need in this community or something nice to have?
Well, let's segue from the previous discussions. There needs to be a park, which was identified as the reason the park is existing is it's being, I'll go all the way back.
Okay.
There is what's called the Stanton Grant Foundation, and that foundation awards communities funds to build dog parks. And it's lengthy and very, very specific. And a community has to meet all these different requirements to apply. And one of them was a physical site given by the town and approved by the town. That there is commitment from the town, of which we also received, which is CPC funding, which has to be a 10% match for what the grant would be. So last year, $20,000 of CPC funds were put in, so we could check that off the list. There had to be a liaison. Gary's name's busy today.
Yeah.
Gary was, he is our liaison with the town. We had to prove to the town that there is a need and there is an interest. The need is that there needs to be a safe place for people and their dogs, and for the people to be safe and the dogs to be safe. So a dog park allows for that to happen. Now, we already have in this town a wonderful group of people, the Wareham Pack Walkers, and very well organized, and there's rules and regulations for management so people and their pets are safe. But they're all on leash because they're in public, and that's needed and appropriate.
Absolutely.
The dog park will allow for dogs to be off leash, and it's the only place where dogs can be off leash if they're not in at their own home, and not everybody can put a fence in their whole area in the back, or they rent, or for whatever reason. So the dogs can be off leash, and within there, the park will have a large dog area and a small dog area, so that the dogs are safe, the people are safe. In the park we were given is actually almost 7 acres. The dog park itself will be 1 acre. The other acres will be developed for other recreational and social needs of the community. I am impressed. I mean, it goes without saying that you're out, you're walking your dogs, you're walking with other people. It's good for you. You kind of know that in your head. But the response from the people that are part of the Wareham Pack Walkers, the benefits to the people is above and beyond even the dogs. So there's that social time, there's physical exercise. So, and also because they're a group with a united interest, they support other related interests like dog shelters and rescues. And the dog park will also it won't be all about the dog park, it will be anything that's affiliated with people and their pets and how we all can mutually support each other.
Very good. So I'm sensing that this is going to bring the community together. Now you have a task beforehand that is to raise $2,000 before June or
July.
Before July.
The other part of everything we do is scripted by the Stanton grant.
Okay.
So another reason for them to know, if we give you $200,000, is the dog park still going to be there 2 years, 3 years down the road? So besides the town commitment, it's our commitment. And so there is what's called the Dog Park Affiliation of Wareham. That's what I'm part of, with the acronym DPAW. They're two separate things. The park is one thing, the people supporting the park. It's sort of like the Friends of the Free Library. So our job is to raise the funds, get the word out, and once that park is built, maintain the park. Stanton Grant says, put your money where your mouth is. So we, as our group, also needs to raise money. So
what do you need now? Like, what's the target now? Just to let people know that we have this site already, or is it the fundraising?
Well, it's both, because if you don't know there's a park,
All right.
there's no reason to take that next step. It's sort of like when you ask, it's like the dog chasing its tail. Which one's more important? They're equally important.
Okay.
So we wanted to raise $10,000. We need $2,000 more to meet that goal. The reason for that is the Stanton grants give only a set amount every year. So the longer in the year we wait means that by the time we would set that application in, all the grants could be awarded. So we want to go by mid-year. So if we raise that $10,000, above and beyond that would be wonderful too. Then that's the last peg that we need for all the requirements to put the grant in.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning to talk about the Wareham Dog Park. And you are looking to raise a certain amount of funds before July. So we're spreading the word a little bit at a time.
And you can go on, the dog park has their website, which I believe would be running.
What's the website? What's the name?
The Wareham Dog Park.
WarehamDogPark.org. Okay.
And I thought that was going to, thank you, Steve. And that's the dog park logo. There's the website. There's also a Facebook page. which is also the Wareham Dog Park, that you can find information. And if anybody wants any more information, they can go on there. There's also, I think Steve was going to put up, or we'll do it next time, how to contact us.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. We'll bring you back with more progress on this. Good?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. All right, so that was Sally talking about the Wareham Dog Park, and you can go to warehamdogpark.org to learn more information, and we'll bring Sally later on as more information, closer to the fundraiser, so we can make sure to see where we are and how you can participate. So we are going to take a brief break, and we'll be back with Today in History. Well, hello and thank you for being with us this morning. We are broadcasting live from our WCTV studio in Wareham. This is Good Morning Wareham, your source for local news, weather, traffic information, and extra information. And now for a moment in history, please let's take a look at where we were today in history. All right, so on this day in history, in 1869, when I was 2 years old, the American Transcontinental Railroad was completed. The two organizations, the Union Pacific Railroad and the Central Pacific Railroad, laid down tracks from either coast, meeting in Promontory, Utah, where the final stake was put in. The task took 3 years of construction and many more for planning, but it was able to unify the nation, improving travel times and greatly helping the upcoming industries in America. And we're gonna flash forward 101 years to 1970, where we see Bobby Orr score what might be the most famous goal in hockey history. The goal won the Boston Bruins their 4th Stanley Cup championship over St. Louis Blues, or would lead the team to 5th championship in 1972, where the Bruins would defeat the New York Rangers. And now we are going to celebrate a birthday. And today we are giving a shout out to Kenan Thompson. The television comedian got his start on kids shows, All That, and Kenan and Kel. He is now known for being the longest running member of Saturday Night Live ever, with 16 seasons under his belt. He turns 41 years old today. And happy birthday to everyone else celebrating their big day today. That's all for Today in History segment. To learn more cool historical facts, please go online under history.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the coffee segment. But first, let's take a look at that pretty events calendar. All right.
We can go back and like.
Why? Because it is Friday. So welcome back. This is the coffee segment. With me is your favorite selectman, Alan Slavin, in the studio to discuss what road. Welcome. That's what you said. What road?
What road?
Yes, Route 6 and 28. Apparently, we were supposed to see construction out there.
Today's Fun Day Friday.
Fun Day Friday?
Yeah. We go out and do good things on Friday.
Like, what did you do? What's a good thing you did?
Then we go out and play with cars and other things.
Oh, well, the police station did something good this morning.
Yes.
Yes. All right, tell me, why am I not seeing construction out there?
The contracts went out from the state. And basically, the first piece will be Eversource, which will start to do the power lines, which have to be moved, etc. And I believe all the properties, the easements and everything else are all in the process being taken care of. There's some issues because people have basically expanded onto the state highway land actually over a lot of years. So the first part is the power lines, and then they'll start construction. I don't know whether they'll start at which end. That's up to the contractor. They just have a time. It's going to be probably over a 2-year period.
Oh, but yeah.
And you won't see anything during the summertime, you know, core probably, just so there won't be any traffic issues, etc.
Mm-hmm. 1 second. Are we okay?
All right, I think he's unmuted now.
All right, sorry about that.
Technical glitch.
Technical glitch.
Better?
That's the middle name of this production, technical glitches. Okay. So
Could be worse.
It could be worse. So you're telling me we're not going to see construction this summer, Right now, they're working on the power lines.
They'll-
Eversource is taking care
And
of
that's
the power lines.
Eversource, they do it at their,
They're on pace?
oh, yeah.
Oh, that is interesting. So not everybody is abiding to the schedule, the 2 years, 3 year schedule? What
Well,
are you
the 2-year schedule is the overall project, but
Yeah.
in that time frame, they build in, the utility companies work at their own pace, the way they want.
Okay.
You can sit there and tell them you like this done in 2 months, but they could take 3 or 4 months.
Interesting. All right. So this road was proposed back in 2012, but we didn't see anything due to the lack of funding.
Actually, way before that.
Way before that. So it's been in the making for decades now.
Long time.
Decades, yeah, a long time. So finally, it's up. I visited the Mass.dot website, and we could see that we have completed the minimal steps, the study and so forth. Right now, we're under the construction.
All the engineering's done, everything else. Like I say, the contracts were sent out, for bid, et cetera. That's all done. The easements and everything else are all in process, all done. So it's just a matter of, the funding is done actually technically this year. I believe the total was slightly higher than $19 million for the project. The region gets a certain amount of money every year. The $19 million is almost all of the money the region would get, which is 27 communities, Southeast Mass, which is like 21 million on average. So the project is being split over 2 years, so other projects can also move in there.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons for it, because there's so much money.
So can we talk about the layout of this road? What are we talking about here? Visualize it for us. Not a lot of pictures out there.
There'll be basically, 2 lanes each side. There'll be a median strip going down, which will be, I think it's a 4-inch type of berm, which you can drive over for emergency vehicles. So it's not like a guardrail or barriers. So if someone was to lose control of a car, say in the outside lane, they could go into the other lane. But the basic idea is to stop people from taking all the illegal left-hand turns, which over the years have averaged about 150 accidents a year.
Yes, and we have, okay, we're going to get to the death later on. But, looking at that, you talked about emergency vehicles can pass. But all these illegal turns, do you really think it's going to be impactful in that sense?
Oh yeah, because you can't, someone's not going to sit there and drive over, the barrier there, because it's illegal. There's no question the police see you do it, you're going to get arrested.
All right. Meanwhile, right now, if you cross the double line, you're not getting arrested?
You're not, but technically you're not supposed to cross that double line.
Technically, I saw a police officer crossing that.
Police can do whatever they want.
I'm going to paint my car blue.
Well,
What's the
actually, in
color?
Wareham, you got to paint it black and white.
Black and white. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, so I am saying, okay, you say maybe people are not going to wait there for a very long time. Wouldn't it just be great if we put those physical barriers, we put in those, the guard rails there to prevent anything like that? An accident, a car to cross over.
It basically, if you put the barriers there, you have issues as far as, maintenance of the road, the snow removal, etc. So, yeah, it's a nice idea, but this should work to what we want to do. The basic idea is the left-hand turns. We don't have very many head-on collisions. They have some over the years, but not a lot. But the idea was to stop the left-hand turns, and in a certain distance down the road, you'll be able to go off to the right and what they call a turnaround and go around to make your turns to come back the other way.
We have a lot of that whole strip there filled with in and out drive-throughs, right?
Yep.
You're telling me somebody is going to drive. Oh, are we putting little breaks, little pauses in between?
No.
For that.
No, you have to go down the road, and where the traffic lights are or the turnarounds, you would turn around and go back. Like there'd be one at Main Ave.
Well, all the coffee shops on the other side and all the food places on the other side. So if you were going to get breakfast and it's lunchtime,
you just go down the road to the turnaround, come around, and go out. You're talking 4 or 5 minutes max.
Yes, 4 or 5 minutes max. In the culture where somebody cannot afford 1 minute maximum.
Well, they're going to have to.
Okay.
If you go on any major road, you got like Route 9 out in Natick, Framingham.
Are we comparing this road to Route 9 in Framingham?
It's the same type of road.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
So this road has resulted, there have been, let's say, 2, 3 deaths since 2013 to 2016. So in a 3-year period, we have lost 3 people. who have been struck by cars.
Yeah, and that's basically because you have people living in the mobile home parks who basically cross the street either to get some food at a fast food restaurant or unfortunately go to the liquor stores, and that's where most of the accidents occur.
So what are we going to do with that area there, where the mobile homes are and where the motels are? Is that the place where we're putting lights and crosswalk
The
signs?
crosswalks really are not exactly there because you have the main stretch going down between Redbrook, etc. That's really something that you really can't control. I mean, even if you had a barrier there,
So if
people
we
would-
put lights,
you-
we put lights there, somebody can in a crosswalk. You're
yes,
telling me
they can cross with light control in those
yes.
areas. But there's stretches where people still will cross anyways.
okay, but so are we going to have at least a crosswalk there just in case to really cover our basics, saying
No.
we're not going to do it?
You're not going to have a crosswalk in the section between the lights and stuff, no.
How come?
It's a highway. You don't have a crosswalk on the highway. Crosswalks are only supposed to be where there's a light at the intersection.
Okay, so I'm thinking one where Salvation Army is, the
Yeah.
intersection there, we're going to have.
That's where Main Ave is and stuff.
Okay.
There'll be a piece there. You know where the oil change place was? Right now there's a used car dealership and Ferry's place with the old Cranberry Station.
Yes, yes.
There's a piece of property on both sides, so you'll come down either way, and it'll be like a turnaround. You bear off to the right and come around to be able to come back the other way.
And then people talked about the bike lanes. How serious are we is putting bike lanes?
They'll put one bike lane in and a sidewalk. That's all part of it. That's the way the state does highways today, or roads. When they build a road, they build it a certain way. You have to remember, this is not a town road. This is a
State road.
This is 6 and 20. These are state roads paid for by the state. Wareham does not. We're not involved at all technically.
So we cannot say, oh, our town, we know our people better, so let's add this thing here. No.
No.
They come with the plans.
They do the engineering. They talk to everybody and everything else. But the bottom line is, it's their decision at the end how they do it.
What leverage do we have?
None.
I love how blunt you are.
I'm honest.
Honest. Okay, so the bike lanes, people say, why bike lanes? Wouldn't that just cause frustration and actually even more accidents?
No,
Are we
because
going to protect them?
No, because the road is more than wide enough when this is done
Okay.
to do bike lanes. You see them everywhere you drive. You see the little white line with a little bicycle emblem going down the side. So
You
there's,
know,
there's
they
room
make
for
me
it.
very nervous. And I am a very good driver. But,
Well,
you know, somebody just in a tiny little bike, the wind blowing, just,
No, not really.
no, really?
No. I rode motorcycles for years and bikes, no. I mean, I'd much rather see them in the bike lane than see them going down the highway there. You have to remember, we're going to have a bike lane coming through Wareham down Route 6, coming in. People are going to go down basically to Buzzards Bay to go over the bridge to do the bike trails, etc. There's been a push for years now for people to have alternative transportation, for recreation. There's going to be a bike trail basically coming out of Fall River all the way to the Cape. We're part of it.
You were, while this is going on, the construction is going on, we have to pay attention and we have to be mindful of the businesses there.
Yes.
Okay, are these businesses concerned with anything?
Oh yeah,
Are
we
they
have
happy with this?
we have certain people who have been fighting this from day one.
But those certain people, what are we talking about?
It's just property owners, people
Okay.
that don't want it because it's going to affect some of the businesses that are financially in a weak position. It could have serious effects possibly. You can't think that this is going to happen and there's not going to be some side effects to it. We've been looking to the state to see if there's any kind of remedial programs to help if this becomes a problem, because it's going to go over a 2-year period. And again, it'll be section by section. But if you look at the project that was done down at the Narrows, which is way down the end by Buzzards Bay and Wareham where the bridge is, they actually they would only block off one lane at a time, so therefore the traffic could move. And they'll do the same thing here.
Okay.
So it won't be as severe an impact as everybody thinks it'll be, but there will be some impact.
In terms of easement, who's going out?
I don't have a list that I can just quote off, but I know, again, if you look at like Main Ave there's a piece of the property along where Mr. Ferry has, where the old Cranberry Station was that got burned down. There's a corner piece taken up there. Henry, that has Buzz's Garage, it has some issues because they're taking a piece there, but that was been known for quite a while. The project stopped at Red Brook Road. If it had gone farther down the highway, which it's supposed to do eventually, but there's no time frame now, there are places, especially on the left-hand side heading down to Buzzards Bay, where businesses have actually moved signs and et cetera, entranceways into the state highway. The highway is like 40 feet from the center line of the road all the way out, and there are businesses that have actually gone in there. That piece there will probably have more impact.
Okay. This is some exciting stuff.
No, it's been sitting for a long time.
But now it's actually in the construction phase
Well, yeah, but it's taken a long time.
Okay, it's taken a long time, but we will see it in our timeline.
Yeah, actually, finally. I mean, it's a difficult thing because it's a decision that the selectmen have been pushing now since I've been on the board pretty heavily, that we want to get this done because it's 150 accidents a year. That's a lot of injuries to people, etc. A lot of damage versus some effect of the local businesses. And again, we realize that there is a trade-off. We have to make a decision. Sometimes the decision doesn't make everybody happy. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be the person that's responsible for someone getting killed or someone, being permanently injured and stuff, crippled. I think it's our ethical and moral responsibility to make the road safe.
When the construction begins, do we know how it's going to look like, closing of the lanes?
No, that's strictly up to the actual engineering firm and the actual contractor. And the state, the Mass DOT, will have some oversight as well. If we have an issue that looks like it's a problem, we can call Mass DOT, but again, it's their control, not ours.
Do you have any reservations when you looked at the plans?
Not really. My concern, I was in retail business for a long time.
You in the retail business, what were you selling?
Motorcycle parts and stuff.
Oh.
And I had a wholesale business. But the bottom line is I was in Brighton Ave and Alston, and then up in Peabody on Route 1, which is a completely divided highway, et cetera. So what we're looking at here, it was worse there because there was a guardrail. People can still cross over a guardrail, but you can't drive a car over it because you lose your car. And when I was in Brighton Ave and Alston, parking was minimal, traffic, whatever. And yes, because I was a destination type of business, you had to get, if you wanted something, you had to come to me anyways. It was okay, but other businesses in the area, when we had road construction, when they were doing with the, with the MBTA rail and everything else, anytime something happened, it would affect your business for a while. So that's my reservation. Is I've been experiencing when roads works have been done, how it affects you financially.
Now, it would be great if they obeyed by the 2-year, 2023. They're thinking that spring 2023 construction should be.
Oh, it should be done before that. It
should be done before that.
It should be done by 21.
21. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just 2 years.
We're in the 2023. If you're looking, probably saw the listing of different projects from 20 to 23. But the actual project is 2019 technically.
Okay.
It should have been actually in 2016.
I got 2018. I'm
2018
looking
is-
at Wareham Week. They keep saying the construction has begun. What construction?
Again, there's no construction. It's the
Power lines.
power lines, utilities first. That's how you have to move the utilities first, because you can't do the road work and have the utilities sitting in the middle of the road, unless you want to bang into a telephone pole for fun.
Well, they have never done anything for me.
Me neither.
Okay, so you were one of the selectmen. You got to listen to the dog case, the recent dog attack.
Yeah.
These are canines, right? These are the German Shepherds.
Yeah, it's a basically a kennel that's located on the 80 Makepeace property.
Okay.
That's there, but there was no fencing per se, and I think that was the biggest issue I had, was really that when you're leasing a piece of land, you have a business and you have dogs, and you allow them to basically go out on their own. It really should be a fencing around the business for safety reasons.
So you had some suggestions, or selectmen suggested a few
My only
restrictions.
concern was I thought the facility should be fenced.
Should be fenced, and was that a concern, or that's actually going to be an order? Is that it?
No, because they decided that they have, those two dogs in particular have to be controlled, have to be inside an area which they can't get out of, etc.
But no fencing.
No, that's at the end of it. I think basically they decided, the board overall decided that there would be no because he's supposed to be moving in 2 months or whatever.
Well, good for him, but what about the safety of those who wants to use the road?
As I said, my thought was a fence all around it.
You know, you guys got a lot of backlash on that comment that we should just let him because he's going to be moving out in 2 months or whatever.
Well, I can only tell you what I said.
Okay, so, I mean, what happened here? How can this be going on in Wareham where we have dogs loose and people getting attacked? It seems like every single day somebody's getting attacked.
Not really. We've had, the dog hearings used to be the police, and the police department decided they didn't want to deal with it anymore, so they stuck it on the selectmen. So now you hear about it because it's televised. Before that, you never heard about it because it wasn't televised or anything. So there's no increase or anything else.
Okay.
And if you consider that we've been doing this for probably 3 years, I think we've had 4 dog cases, something like that. So it's not very many.
So what is he liable for?
That's personal between him, the landowner, and the woman. It has nothing to do with the town.
Nothing to do with the town.
We don't get involved with that part of it. We only get involved with actually the dog itself. For a dog hearing, all we do is basically decide whether the dog is dangerous
and
or not.
The dog was dangerous.
Yeah, or whether we go past that and say the dog should be euthanized.
And we did not vote for that this time.
No, that was, again, what we do is we take whatever the dog officer makes a recommendation. I mean, this is a difficult thing. There's probably at least 3 of us on the board that either have been or are dog owners. So it's not easy to, you basically, you're killing someone's pet per se. It's not an easy thing to do. People can complain about it, but when you're the one that has to basically, push the button, that's not easy. It's certainly not fun for either side. And I feel really bad for the woman that got bit, obviously. She got traumatized,
Okay.
But again, we don't have any control except for the dogs. And if I told someone that we should euthanize the person owning the dog, we wouldn't go very far with that one.
Well, you guys did it before. Anyhow.
No, I haven't.
Thank you so much for being in the studio.
No problem.
To talk about Route 6 and 28, and hopefully we'll see construction soon.
Yeah, there is, and we'll talk about it as it goes along. I'm sure there's going to be some difficulty. It's not going to be simple. We have another project that we're working on with 3 other towns, basically from Fairhaven all the way to Wareham, which is taking Route 6 and changing it possibly, and this is possibly, from a 4-lane to a 3-lane road, which means 1 lane each direction with a center turning lane, which would be a major change as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you, Alan.
Always a pleasure. Fun day Friday.
Fun day Friday. All right, so that was Alan Slavin, your favorite selectman, here to talk about the construction on Route 6 and 28 that you're not witnessing yet, but hopefully very soon. Fall. Okay, that concludes our morning show. You missed us this morning. Do not panic. This show will re-air this evening at 6 p.m. With that, we'll be back on Monday on regular schedule, and I wish you all a fantastic weekend, Wareham. Enjoy. Goodbye.